December 2019, matatandaan pumutok ang balita ukol sa isang panibagong sakit na dumapo at kumalat sa libu-libong mamamayan sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo, ang 2019 novel coronavirus. Enero 2020, naitala naman ang kauna-unahang kumpirmadong kaso nito sa at dahil sa patuloy na pagkalat ng nasabing virus, idineklara ng World Health Organization na isa na itong pandemic. Salitang nagdala ng mga tanong at pangamba sa mga mamamayan. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin nito? At ano nga ba ang mga pandemic na naitala na sa ating kasaysayan? Ako po si Secretary Martin Andanar at ito ang Alerto, a COVID-19 special.
March 12, 2020, idineklara ng World Health Organization ang novel coronavirus isang pandemic dahil sa mabilis at malawakang pagkalat nito sa iba't ibang bahagi ng mundo. Mula nito, naging laman na ng mga usap-usapan ng mamamayan ang salitang pandemic. Nagmula sa Griyegong salitang pandemos na nangangahulugang all the people. Ang pandemic ay ang estado ng malawakang pagkalat ng sakit sa buong mundo. Kadalasan, virus ang nagsisilbing sanhi ng mga pandemic na nag-iwang marka sa iba't ibang mga bansa. Kung babalikan ng kasaysayan, marami-rami na ring mga pandemic ang nagdala ng mga malabangungot na pinsala sa sangkatauhan. Ilan sa mga ito ay ang Spanish flu na pumutok matapos ang ikaunang digmaang pandaigdig. Ito ay nag-infect ng kalahating milyong katao at bumawi ng halos 100,000 buhay. Ikalawa naman sa listahan ng mga pandemics ay ang itinuturing bilang pinakamapinsalang sakit na kumitil sa pinakamaraming buhay sa ating kasaysayan, ang Black Death. Ayon sa mga tala, umabot ng halos 200 milyon ang namatay sa rehiyon ng Eurasia at North Africa. Mayroon ring mga pandemic na hindi lamang puminsala sa buhay ng mga mamamayan, ngunit maging sa ekonomiya. Ilan sa mga ito ay ang 1957 avian flu at ang 2009 H1N1 o mas kilala bilang swine flu. Paano nga ba pinagdadaanan ng ating bansa at ng buong mundo ang pandemic na ito? At ano nga ba ang ating mga natutunan na maaari nating gamitin sa pagharap sa bagong hamong dala ng COVID-19?
Kung babalikan ang kasaysayan, marami-rami na ring mga pandemic ang naranasan sa ating bansa at ng buong mundo. Kaya naman, upang talakayin ang mga ilan sa mga ito, makakausap po natin ngayong gabi sina Dr. Mary Grace Dacuma, isang molecular epidemiologist mula sa University of the Philippines, Los Baños, at si Dr. Raul Destura, isang microbiologist at infectious disease specialist mula sa National Institutes of Health University of the Philippines, Manila. Magandang gabi po sa inyo. Dr. Mary Grace, ano po ba ang pandemic? Paano natin masasabing naging pandemic na ang isang sakit?
Kapag sinabi pong pandemic, it means na ang isang sakit ay nagkaroon na ng worldwide spread. Usually, nagsisimula po siya sa isang lugar, sa isang index case, maaring ang dahilan ay virus o bacteria. Pagkatapos, itong taong index case ay nakapaghawa ng mga ilang madaming tao. Usually, it results to a high number of sick people, and then it spreads. Not just within one country, it also spreads sa napakadaming countries across the globe.
Dr. Mary Grace, paano po ang development ng isang pandemic? Okay? Paano po ito nagiging pandemic? Paano po ito nagiging isang outbreak? How does it spread?
paano po nade-develop ang outbreak sa isang pandemic? So, kapag sinabi pong disease outbreak, nagkakaroon po ng occurrence ng disease cases sa isang lugar beyond sa normal expectancy. So kapag bago ang disease na ito, yung expectancy of course would be zero. And then, magkakaroon ng mga napakadaming taong na-infect at kakalat ito beyond sa isang geographical area. Sinasabi lang po nating outbreak kapag ang disease ay localized lang sa isang geographic area. Kapag kumalat po ito, example, sa mga kapitbayan, ibang cities within a country, ang tawag po doon ay epidemic. Kapag kumalat pa po ito sa iba-ibang countries, doon po nagiging pandemic.
Dr. Destura, ayon po sa mga tala ay kinikilala ang Black Death o yung bubonic plague bilang isa sa pinaka mapinsalang sakit. Ano po ba itong Black Death pandemic?
Ito ay cause ng isang bacteria na pwede kang mahawa either by close contact ng dead people or yung ubo ng pasyente o yung kagat ng isang what we call fleas, no? Nangyari ito in the earlier years na hindi pa naiimbento ang antibiotics, no? Ang cause ng pandemic na to ay yung Yersinia pestis, no? Isang klaseng bacteria that can actually invade ng lymphatics ng tao, naglalakihan yung mga lymph nodes, kaya tinatawag siyang bubo or naging bubonic plague, no? The reason why sinabing pinakamapaminsalang sakit kasi talagang total of 75 million people, no, ang tinamaan at namatay, no, in the first and the second wave of the first pandemic nung nangyari yan noon. Kaya medyo takot-takot na pinsala ang naibigay sa buong mundo nung umpisa ito kasi nagta-travel na yung tao. So it took years for the pandemic to actually complete ang kill. At saka nakikita pa rin natin siya ngayon intermittently, no, sa mga central portions in the African regions and Caribbean regions. So ang advantage lang ngayon pag nare-recognize mayroon ng antibiotiko. Dati kasi wala. Kaya maraming namatay.
Doc Raul, paano po ito nagsimula at ano po ang naging dahilan para magkaroon ng ganito at kumalat ang sakit na ito? Ilan po ba, like nabanggit nyo, 75 million, pero ilan po ba yung mga naapektuhan nung simula? Ganun kadami na? Or ito'y nag-develop din at bigla na lang kumalat at milyon-milyon na yung tinamaan sa Europa?
Tuloy-tuloy po ito Umpisa sa Europa, Amerika, Asia. Pag nagta-travel, isa sa pinaking dahilan nito yung tinatawag nating hygiene, no? Minsan naghahalo yung mga superstition at saka yung sakit, no? So lahat ito nagkakaroon ng confusion sa kanila. Kaya hindi nila alam kung paano makontrol yung sakit kasi hindi pa kabisado yung tinatawag na controlling the chain of infection, no? Because of that, pag improper yung hygiene ng tao, pati yung handling the dead, pati yung nagpro-process nung how to take care of the dead, lahat din sila na-infect ng mikrobyo na yan. So because of that, talagang nag-spread siya, especially doon sa when people are traveling by talagang galleons and maraming tao compressed in one area. So close contact is always there. Kaya nagkakaroon talaga ng movement ng bacteria from one place to the other. Human travel ay isa sa major factor ng spread ng virus or bacteria in a pandemic situation. So itong kapanahonan ng Black Death or bubonic plague, yun ang naging isa sa major factors na nag-spread siya. Hindi lang siya kasing bilis ng spread nung ngayon. Kasi it takes time for people to travel from one place to the other. So, all it takes is one index case may infect yung isang community and the whole cycle will follow through per area.
Alright, Doktora Dakuma, paano ito hinarap ng mga apektadong bansa noong unang panahon na wala pang antibiotic?
Nung una pong panahon na wala pang antibiotic, ang ginawa po nila is nag-practice ng quarantine. Actually, yung salitang quarantine po ay nagsimula sa Adriatic Port City of Ragusa. So, yung quarantine po noon, hindi katulad ng quarantine natin ngayon. So, noon ay talagang 40 days, yung mga healthy sailors, mga merchants, at lahat ng galing doon sa plague-infested areas, hindi sila makakapasok sa city. So, kailangan nilang mag-spend lang isang buwan sa isang islet or sa town para mag-disinfection. Meron din pong historical basis itong quarantine na ito kasi among medieval Christians. So, noong unang panahon, according sa Bible, merong 40 days and 40 nights na flooding of the earth. And even Jesus fasted in the wilderness for 40 days. Isa po yung quarantine. Ang kasunod po noon is noong 1546, meron pong Italian physician. So, siya po yung nagbigay ng idea about contagion, about seeds of disease, na sinasabi niya na it can spread from person to person. Pwede siyang dumikit sa clothes and objects, although wala pa po silang alam noon about bacteria or viruses. So, ang ginawa po nila, they cleared the streets, nilinis nila yung mga garbage, yung mga filth, nag-encourage sila ng disinfection of objects and surfaces, pati na yung paglilinis ng katawan, washing of hands gamit ang soap and water, pati na rin po yung katawan. So nagkaroon din po sila ng strict border controls, in-isolate po nila yung mga may sakit, at eto pa po, they actually built plague hospitals. At nagtap po sila ng mga natural antimicrobial properties or herbs. Ako matatandaan po na noong I think 17th century, yung mga doctors po nila, meron po silang robe. Pagkatapos po, merong parang beak-like mask. At doon po sa loob ng mask, nilalagyan po nila ng mga mababangong bulaklak. Ang purpose po nun is para hindi daw makapasok sa kanila kung whatever man yung nandun sa air na nagpo-cause ng disease. Kasi hindi pa nila alam po ano yun.
So the record shows that mga 1347, around that time. Pero gaano po ka tagal ang pandemic na ito, itong bubonic plague?
Actually po, it lasted yung dami ng kanyang pinatay. Actually, it even reached up to 200 million doon sa record ng human history. Nakarating po siya hanggang 18th century and then eventually nag-die down. Sabi nga po ni Dr. Destura kanina, hanggang ngayon meron pa din. Pero ano na lang siya, endemic, isolated sa mga iba-ibang countries. At dahil nga sa meron na tayong antibiotics ngayon, nakokontrol na.
Noong 1918 naman, naitala din po ang pagkakaroon ng Spanish flu, isang sakit na kumalat sa iba't ibang bansa, kasama ng Pilipinas. Ano po ba itong pandemic na Spanish flu, Dr. Destura?
Ito yung type ng influenza virus na unknown na novel sa katawan ng tao, meaning first time siyang may encounter. So ito yung every time a virus mutates, magkakaroon siya ng parang moment na pag nag-mutate siya, totally unique na yung virus. Kasi yung control ng influenza depends on our immune system na nire-recognize virus na yan. So intermittently magkakaroon ng mutation yung virus, no?
Dr. Destura, bakit po itinuring na deadliest influenza pandemic in history ang Spanish flu noong 1918?
Kasi noong 1918, yung spread talaga niya was global. More than 500 million people ang tinamaan. That's about 1/3 of the population of the entire planet at that time. And then, ang dami ring namatay, no? Mga 20 to 50 million people. So that's how big the mortality rate nung Spanish flu of 1918. And of course, at that time, walang drugs, walang bakuna, no? So people are relying on sa kanilang immune system. So tinatamaan even the healthy ones during the Spanish flu pandemic of 1980. So ito yung nangyayari sa ating influenza virus na nag-mutate very, very fast every year. Kaya nire-recommend na tayong magbakuna for flu every year. Ang problema, may dumarating na point na yung virus mutation is nagiging completely unique at walang kalaban-laban, walang ang ating immune system sa influenza type na nagsi-circulate. So talagang everybody now becomes vulnerable.
So during that time, Doc, paano po ito hinarap ng mga apektadong bansa? Go ahead, Doc Raul.
Yeah, so most of the time, ang ginawa nila is their own forms of quarantine. They actually have a flu beds all over in gymnasiums and in bills just to be able to treat those patients. Developed din sila ng some form of isolations and quarantine. Kaya the problem there was the transmission was so high and kaya talagang hanggang paano siya na-control, largely because nag-develop na ng immunity yung mga na-expose at nag-survive. Tumaas yung herd immunity kaya nagkaroon ng decline.
Dr. Mary Grace, ano po ang naging epekto nito sa mga bansang tinamaan, lalo na sa Pilipinas? Paano po natin nalagpasan ang pandemic na Spanish flu?
Actually po, before ko po sasagutin yon, gusto ko po sanang sabihin na yung Spanish flu po na name, misnomer po yon. Hindi po siya nagsimula sa Spain. Yung Spain lang na time na yon, kasi sila yung literal during World War I. So sila yung nag-report ng virus. Pero dahil sabay-sabay siyang na-report sa iba-ibang countries, pero unang nag-report ang Spain, kaya lang po siya natawag na Spanish flu. So misnomer po yung term. So sa buong mundo po, apektado lahat. At wala, sabi nga ni Doc Raul, wala pang effective drug nun, wala pang vaccine. Kasi yung vaccine, the first licensed flu vaccine na it only appeared in America in the 1940s. Pagkatapos, nag-recommend naman sila ng aspirin up to 30 grams, kaya it resulted to some aspirin poisoning. Sa Pilipinas po, nagkaroon din po tayo nitong Spanish flu nito from June to December 2018. Kaya lang po, medyo dinampen siya noon ng government as tinawag siya parang yung regular na trangkaso. So nagkaroon po ng more than 70,000 deaths. And of course, dahil dyan, talagang magkakaroon ng shortage ng personnel system. Tapos nagkaroon ng failure sa system check, sa pag-spread ng disease sa buong Pilipinas. At yun nga pong sinabi ko, more than 70,000. Maaring ano pa po yun? Maaring hindi pa po siya accurate na number, lalo na doon sa Visayas at Mindanao.
Hanggang kailan po ito tumagal, itong Spanish flu na pandemic dito po sa bansa natin? Sobra ba ng 1 taon?
According po dun sa history, sa records, nagsimula po siya ng June and nag-last siya until 2019. Mukhang hindi naman po siya umabot ng 1 taon.
Marami pa po tayong pag-uusapan sa pagbabalik ng Alerto, a COVID-19 special.
A price freeze on commodities is already in effect, and measures to curtail hoarding and profiteering are also in place. Uulitin ko, hindi ito panahon para kumita. Hindi ito panahon ng pagsasamantala.
Basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to. Para tugunan ang dagliang pangangailangan ng bawat Pilipino dahil sa epekto ng COVID-19, pinagtibay ang Republic Act 11469 o ang Bayanihan to Heal as One Act. Pagkakalooban ng benepisyo ang ating mga frontline health workers sa ilalim ng batas na ito. Bibigyan ng karagdagang special risk allowance ang mga public health workers na patuloy na sumusunod sa tawag ng kanilang tungkulin sa kabila ng panganib na dulot ng COVID-19. Sasagutin ng PhilHealth ang kabuoang gastos ng mga public at private health workers kung sakali mang sila ay magkaroon ng karamdaman o injury sa kalagitnaan ng kanilang pagtatrabaho sa pagsugpo ng COVID-19. Bibigyan ng 100,000 pisong compensation ang mga health workers na magkakaroon ng COVID-19 habang nasa line of duty at ayuda na aabot sa 1 milyong piso naman ang iaabot sa pamilya ng mga health workers na masasawi dahil sa karamdamang ito. Magkakaroon rin ng temporary hiring ang mga manggagawang medikal upang matulungan at madagdagan ang health workforce sa bansa. Sila ay makakatanggap ng kaukulang compensation, allowance at actual hazard duty pay mula sa gobyerno. Alamin ang mga dapat at hindi dapat gawin ngayong panahon ng enhanced community quarantine dahil sa banta ng COVID-19. Anong uri ng transportasyon ang papayagan sa mga kalsada ngayong panahon ng quarantine? Mga P2P at shuttle service ng mga LGU, health worker at mga piling manggagawa. Transportasyon mula sa airport para sa mga OFW. Maaari ring maglakad o magbisikleta kung mamimili o kasama sa essential workforce. Tuloy-tuloy din ang daloy ng mga kargamento sa lupa, dagat at himpapawid. Maliban sa mga ito, walang pampublikong transportasyon ang papayagang bumiyahe sa kalsada. Hindi rin haharangan ang pagpasok ng mga cargo truck at van sa mga daungan at daanan. Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to!
Nagbabalik po ang Alerto, a COVID-19 special at kasama pa rin po natin sina Dr. Mary Grace Dacuma at Dr. Raul Destura. Noong 1997, isa na namang animal-to-human transmitted disease ang tumama sa mundo. At ito nga ang avian flu. Ano ang pandemic na ito?
Ito yung H2N2 virus, no? 1957 po ito na nag-start. And it's also a new strain of the influenza virus na nakita natin na ang dahilan nito ay mixing ng virus of avian origin. Ito yung sa mga ibon, no? And this was first reported here in Africa, no? Nag-spread from Singapore all the way to the European and American countries. Estimated, dumami talaga ang maraming na-apektuhan worldwide, no? Ang pagkakaiba lang nito is it's better handled previous epidemic ng influenza viruses kasi nag-i-improve na yung ating capacity to take care of our sick patients as opposed to mga panahon nung 1800s and earlier than that. More than 1 million people died from that pandemic globally, no? And it has affected a large number of countries in that particular period. It lasted for about a year, and then na-develop din again yung herd immunity and all that, saka lang siya na control again from the epidemic. No? So, naging part na siya ng naturally occurring influenza viruses. So sinasama yung strain na yan pag nagde-design ng vaccines yearly, no? Lahat ng mga nag-cause ng pandemic before, no? Kasama siya sa calculations on determining the best vaccines every year.
Paano po naging posible na ang isang animal influenza ay maipasa o mai-transmit sa tao, Doc Raul?
Ito yung tinatawag na mixing vessel. For example, yung virus from the avian type, may tinatawag secondary transmission, halimbawa swine being a mammal, no? Na mayroon din silang swine, na-infect din sila na influenza kasi. So pag naghalo itong dalawa, pwede kasi siyang mag-mutate at maging human influenza na siya, no? So the mixing allows the virus to mutate and generates a new type of infectivity, no? So pag nangyari 'yon, ito yung tinatawag na zoonotic transmission, nag-leap from the animal circulation, pupunta siya ngayon sa human. So based on the genetic lineage of this virus, nag-umpisa siya as avian. Kaya tinawag siyang avian influenza, pero nagkukos siya ngayon ng human transmission. So ito yung pinaka-importanting example on animal health affects human health and vice versa.
Dr. Mary Grace Dacuma, gaano po ba kadelikado itong mga animal to human transmitted diseases?
Sobra pong delikado yung mga animal to human transmitted diseases or yung tinatawag nating zoonosis kasi po walang prior immunity ang human sa pathogen na ito. And talagang yung assault doon sa body ng tao is talagang extreme. Katulad nung nangyari doon sa 1997 avian influenza. Can result to fatal pneumonitis, multiple organ failure, tsaka po, yung transmission po nito, yung tinatawag na basic reproduction number is actually, na-compute po siya about 1.68. Ibig sabihin po nun, ang isang index case ay maaring mag-transmit sa dalawang susceptible individuals.
So paano naman ito hinaharap ng mga apektadong bansa? Nabanggit nyo yung 1997 dito sa Hong Kong ba yun? Yung nangyaring
Apo.
avian flu.
Apo. Noon pong 1997 flu, ang na-record lang po kasi noon is yung exposure sa mga chicken, yun na nag-cause ng avian influenza. So wala silang na-record noon na human-to-human transmission. So ang ginawa po ng mga apektadong bansa, they actually culled infected chicken. It even reached up to 45 million. So lockdown infected areas, quarantine, and that actually stopped the spread of the infection.
Dr. Raul, ano ang naging epekto nito sa mga bansang tinamaan? Lalo na dito sa Pilipinas, paano natin nalagpasan ang pandemic na avian flu?
Ang pinakamalaki talagang naapektuhan dyan, yung gross domestic product ng poultry industry. It's a several billion industry per year na heavily affected because of the virus. Kasi yung pathogenic forms is really more on the close contacts to these animals. Itong nangyari na most recent. No? So the H5N1, even influenza, ang pinaka heavily involved talaga was the industry, you know, because you have to cull and a lot of poultry who are actually infected with the virus, though. So in terms of human health, ang heavily affected dito are really the ones processing the poultry industry. The one that are exposed to the remains or to the feces or to the dried feces of the poultry, no, the chicken. So ganun katinding economic loss naman to the poultry industry.
Dr. Dacuma, ilang taon ang nakalipas, isa namang animal to human transmitted disease ang nagdevelop at nakaapekto sa buong mundo. Nagkaroon po ng swine flu noong 2009. Ano po ba ang pandemic na ito, Dr. Mary Grace?
Ang swine flu po, ang pathogen causing swine flu is a form of H1 influenza virus. Actually po, circulating in the swine population and it has remained undetected. And maybe eventually, nakapag-acquire po siya ng mutations at nakakross siya ng species barrier at ma-infect niya ang mga tao. It actually started in Mexico in the spring of 2009 and after that, it spread to 76 countries kaya na-declare po siya as a pandemic.
Gaano po kabilis ang pag-develop ng ganitong klaseng virus, Dr. Mary Grace?
Yung N1 influenza virus po na nag-cause ng swine flu, capable po siya ng human-to-human transmission. Actually, yung kanya pong basic reproduction number is up to 1.6. It's actually a lot higher than the seasonal influenza. Although self-limiting naman po siya, pero meron pong mga cases that actually develop respiratory failure and severe pneumonia, kaya nagkakaroon po ng fatal outcomes.
Ang advantage nung 2000 swine flu as opposed to the previous early years, no, mas established na ngayon yung surveillance program ng tinatawag na ILI, Influenza-like Illness Surveillance, among partnering countries over the world. Kaya mabilis siyang na-identify globally. No? At the same time, since established na yung flu surveillance in most areas, yung mechanisms for surveillance and control are generally in place. But having said that, mataas kasing infectivity rate, kaya mabilis pa rin yung transmission at umikot talaga siya sa buong mundo. Because it's a novel influenza virus, the whole world is also not immune. No? Kaya mabilis siyang mag-spread kasi nga, wala nga yung tinatawag na herd immunity protection. No? Ang pagkakaiba is the technology for vaccine developments were already in place. In fact, countries like Korea, they created their own influenza vaccine for the H1N1. Di na sila nag-antay ng big pharmaceuticals generate their own vaccine. Second, the good thing about the H1N1 virus is they're also susceptible to a antiviral drug, no? Like oseltamivir, no? Which is actually available for the regular flu, no?
So, Dr. Ol, ano ang naging epekto nito sa mga bansang tinamaan, lalo na dito sa Pilipinas?
Well, the heaviest affected are those of the low income or countries, no, because of their ability to absorb the healthcare needs of all of these individuals. Second, of course, heavily affected noon ang travel because there are restrictions of movement all over. So the economy was heavily affected as well pag mayroong pandemic.
Nung dekada 80 naman ay naitala ang kauna-unahang kaso ng HIV/AIDS at late 20th century na ideklarang pandemic. Ano po ba ito, Dr. Mary Grace Dacuma, itong HIV pandemic?
Ito pong HIV, ito po ay pandemic-based sa human immunodeficiency virus. Kapag ititrace po natin yung history ng HIV, it actually resulted from multiple cross-species, yung tinatawag na multiple cross-species transmission of merong tinatawag na simian immunodeficiency viruses doon sa African primates. So, umiikot yung doon. Eventually, na-cross niya yung species barrier to humans. Kaya lang, yung mga cross-species transmission na ito, meron silang limited extent. And then there is one transmission mula sa isang chimpanzee, yung simian immunodeficiency virus, mula sa chimpanzee, actually sa Cameroon ito, it gave rise to the HIV-1 group, Group M, naging principal cause ng AIDS epidemic.
Ano po ba ang naging epekto nito sa tao, itong HIV?
Ito po kasing HIV, inaatake po niya yung immune system. Meron po kasi sa immune system natin, tinatawag na CD4 cells. Sila po yung helper T cells. Imagine niyo po ang ating immune system. It actually protects us from any form of pathogen. Meron pong pinaka-head ang immune system. Yung pong helper T cells. Sila po yung nag-activate ng killer T cells yung sa cell-mediated immunity, pati yung pag-produce ng antibodies doon sa humoral immunity. Kapag nasira po yung helper T cells, then madedestroy po ang immune system. Yun po yung ginagawa ng HIV. And then after that, opportunistic infections take over.
At gaano kabilis ang nagiging transmission ito sa tao, Dr. Raul?
Well, the transmission is mainly on very specific route, no? The most common is by sexual intercourse unprotected. The second one is by accidental transfusion of infected blood products. Third is by sharing needles among IV drug users. No? So these are the regular three routes of transmission of the virus. No? So it depends on how you are repeatedly exposed or exposed only once. Nagde-develop yung symptoms mo right away. It's because it takes a while for the immune system to go down. But once it goes down to a critical level, that's where the start of the cascades of all the opportunistic infections to come in. No? So, mayroong iba, may exposed na, will develop the disease 5 to 8 years later. Mayroong iba, laging na-exposed, no? Develops the disease earlier, 3 to 5 years. So, depende doon sa behavior ng tao na exposed doon sa virus.
Dr. Destura, paano ito kinaharap ng mga apektadong bansa? Meron na bang gamot para dito sa HIV?
There are medications available already. Billions of dollars were spent on developing drugs to control HIV. Unfortunately, there are still no drugs to eradicate the virus from the body, but there are drugs that are able to suppress the virus so that the person can still reach survival age, no? As opposed to similar to non-HIV individuals. No? So ang goal of management ngayon is converting AIDS to HIV positivity, meaning person living with the HIV virus. Yun ang goal natin, no? na re-reconstitute niya yung kanyang immune system because the antiviral drugs are suppressing the virus from attacking the immune so that the person continues to be healthy despite of the HIV virus. The disadvantage for that is when a patient is not diligent in regularly taking the medication, it will actually cause mutation of the virus to develop resistance to the antiviral drug, and then they will develop again the disease if they are not monitoring themselves twice or quarterly basis per year with their attending doctors to determine if the virus are continually suppressed or no longer suppressed by their current antiviral regimen.
Alright. Sa iyo pa rin ito, Dr. Raul. Kaugnay naman sa mga misconception sa HIV/AIDS, ano ba yung maling paniniwala na dapat itama pagdating sa usaping ito?
Marami pa rin ngayon yung medyo natatakot sa taong may HIV. Halimbawa, yung sharing ng kutsara or plato, paggamit ng banyo ng isang HIV positive, or magtabi lang silang matulog without doing anything, no? Or hugging or kissing the person, they will not transmit the disease. Yung ganito kasi mga misconception, nagkukos din ng pagka-alienate ng mga taong may sakit, no, with the virus. And if you are already with the disease, parang you don't need that kind of treatment. So ang pinaka-importante pa rin is to understand how the disease is transmitted and to visit reputable health sites that are laymanized versions of the disease para maintindihan nila yung what the disease is all about. And at the same mabawasan itong mga misconception. Isa pang misconception yung pag kinagat ka ng lamok na may HIV at yung lamok kumagat doon sa walang HIV, maililipat yung virus. Hindi rin po totoo yan.
Marami pa po tayo pag-uusapan sa pagbabalik ng Alerto COVID-19 Special.
We are marshalling and deploying the resources of government to provide our frontline health workers with everything they require so they can save as many lives as possible. We are now procuring medical supplies, devices, and personal protective equipments. About 1 million medical protective items are being acquired right now, with the government and the private sector working together to purchase or produce the necessary quantities.
Basta't sama-sama at laging handa. Kaya natin to! Alamin ang mga dapat at hindi dapat gawin ngayong panahon ng Enhanced Community Quarantine dahil sa banta ng COVID-19. Manatili sa loob ng bahay. Mag-assign ng isang tao sa pamilya na bibili ng inyong pangangailangan. Huwag kalimutang magdala ng ID, quarantine pass, delivery receipt, at iba pang dokumento sa paglabas. Maging magalang sa mga otoridad sa checkpoint. Huwag gumala at tumambay sa kalsada. Huwag ding magkumpulan, physical distancing ang kailangan. Dahil sa masela nilang kalagayan, huwag na huwag palabasin ang mga buntis, senior citizen at mga may sakit. At huwag pabayaan ang sarili at kalusugan. Stay healthy, kabayan! Basta't sama-sama at laging handa, kaya natin to!
Nagbabalik po ang Alerto COVID-19 Special at kasama pa rin po natin sina Dr. Mary Grace Dacuma at Dr. Raul Destura. Sa usapin naman ng ugnayan ng nakaraang pandemic sa ating kinakarap ngayon na COVID-19. Para po kay Dr. Destura, ano po ang kaibahan ng COVID-19 sa SARS at MERS-CoV para ideklara ito ng WHO na isang pandemic kung saan isang virus lang sila nag-originate?
Yung coronavirus na tinatawag nating novel ngayon or the SARS-CoV-2, no, they actually belong to the same groupings, no, MERS, the SARS-CoV-1, no, or the SARS-CoV, at saka itong SARS-CoV-2, no. That's why pag titingnan natin yung kanilang root origins, halos pare-pareho sila. Nagkaroon lang ng difference in certain portions of their gene that made the coronavirus 19 or the SARS-CoV-2 unique from the other three, no. All of them are cervicoviruses, but the difference here is yung kanyang infectivity is way faster than the previous MERS and SARS-CoV virus. The other thing is it was believed that the previous the VERS and the SARS-CoV are more uh, has higher mortality than the current SARS-CoV-2, but we don't know yet, no? Because the problem is still ongoing and there are still a lot of factors affecting outcome of the disease. No? So, kaya siya tinawag kay pandemia again because it's again novel, hindi kilala ng immune system natin yung coronavirus. Because we also have our own what we call the human coronaviruses na nagkukos ng sipon, viral pneumonia, na expose yung tao, kaya mayroon pa rin tinatawag na herd immunity. But this one again is the novel type, kaya zero na naman ang protection ng ng buong mundo, and that makes them again very vulnerable to the disease. The mortality rate is higher than influenza, but the transmission rate is faster than influenza. At saka yung kinakatakutan natin dito is ang mga vulnerable populations. Ito yung mga elderly, those that are exposed to chemotherapeutic drugs, those receiving steroids, high dose for their allergies, for example, and those who are receiving immunosuppressive drugs because of their autoimmune diseases. Ito yung mga highly vulnerable populations that when they get infected with the virus can cause really, really serious and potential deaths.
Dr. Dakuma, ngayong nasa 21st century na tayo na kung saan advanced yung technology, masasabi ba nating mas may edge o advantage tayo sa paghanap ng lunas o treatment para sa COVID-19?
Yes po, we have actually an edge to look for the treatment for COVID-19. In fact, during the early stages of the pandemic, the genome sequence of the COVID-19, the virus causing COVID-19 was actually sequenced. And then we now have the technology to look into the structure of the virus and then identify key proteins that make it up. And then we can now design drugs to target this specific component, either to prevent its entry into the cell or take over the cell, and even simulate this before even testing this to humans. So we have the technology. It's just a matter of time.
Para kay Dr. Destura, ano po ang pathogen ng COVID-19 at ang kaugnayan nito sa mga pathogen na mga nakaraang pandemic?
Okay. Ang pathogen ng COVID-19 ay yung tinatawag na coronavirus group, no? Ang pinangalan siyang SARS-CoV-2, no? Kasi pinsan siya in terms of genetic relatedness ng SARS-CoV at saka ng MERS-CoV. So, ang relationship nito in the past pandemic is most of the other are not related to the coronavirus. But what is common to all of these epidemics or pandemics na nararamdaman natin ngayon? Number one of that is what we call the degree of human encroachment. Kasi ito mga virus na to, hindi naman ito basta na lang sumusulpot, no? At some point, they're actually protected within their own environment. Kaya lang ang hilig natin kupuntahan yung kanilang habitat. Yung secured area nila, their own forest, their own habitat, biglang magkakaroon ng subdivision. So we are perturbing the environment and the virus are released and started to mix with other species that in close proximity with humans, and then we are teaching the virus to become infectious to other species. So pag tinawag na within their own host, zoonotic transmission, biglang pupunta na sa tao magiging zoonotic transmission. For as long as these factors are present, human encroachment, changing behavior of humans and the environment, how we handle our animal meat as source of food, and our behaviors and travel. Emerging infections will always happen in the world. It will not end with coronavirus 19. This is just a recurrence of what is already being observed globally. And what is so uh, worrisome is the distance of pandemics getting closer and closer between episodes, as opposed to before na years and years before you see one coming out because of our human behavior. And that's why it's also very important that we do what we call biopreparedness so that we will not be overloaded with what we needed to do right now to face the problem. And because things like this is going to happen again, I am very sure of that. It could be another virus, it could be a new influenza virus, or it could be a new coronavirus. And the only thing that will help us survive the whole process is what we call biopreparedness, which means we stock, we prepare, we enhance our diagnostic mechanisms right from the very start so that it's easier to plan if you have real data as early as you can.
So posible pala talaga, uh, Doc, na may kinalaman yung pangolin, pagkain ng paniki, pangolin. May kinalaman pala ito sa pagkalat. Posible pala yon.
Posible po.
Nako, talagang dapat kainin na natin yung nasa supermarket. Hindi yung supermarket ng mga wild animals. Doc, gaano po ka-infectious ang pathogen na ito, itong COVID-19?
Ang COVID-19 po, dahil capable siya ma-transmit through respiratory droplets, it's highly infectious. Kaya nga po, lagi tayong sinasabihan na you have to wear mask. There should be distance between people queuing. You always wear mask. As much as possible, stay home. It's because anyone can just transmit the virus to another susceptible person. What is alarming for COVID-19 po, there are actually reports that up to 80% of those who are infected are actually asymptomatic. So hindi natin alam kung sino ang merong virus, yung SARS-CoV-2. Hindi sila nagsishow ng any symptom. And then kapag katabi natin sila or bigla na lang silang umubo, nagsalita, tapos nag-drop yung kanilang mga respiratory droplets, nag-drop dun sa mga surfaces na hawakan natin, na hawakan sa eyes, sa nose, and sa mouth, then we can be infected. Kasi ang portals of entry po ng virus would be mucosal surfaces sa eyes, sa nose, and even sa mouth. So it's really very infectious. Kaya po kapag sinabing, wear your mask properly, dapat nakatabon po yung ilong, yung bibig. Yung iba po kasi nakikita ko yung chin lang ang nakakover habang nagsasalita. Ganun po. So, dapat makinig po tayo sa lahat ng mga payo at lahat ng advices coming from the Department of Health to really adhere to these practices because this virus is really infectious. It can really kill. So, prevention is a lot better. Thank you.
On that note, maraming salamat po Dr. Mary Grace Dacuma at Dr. Raul Destura.
Thank you for having me here, Secretary, and thank you meeting you, Dr. Grace Dacoma, as well.
Thank you for having me, Secretary, and thank you, Dr. Destura, sa mga taga Visayas at Mindanao. Maayong gabi. Salamat.
Maayong gabi po ninyo, ma'am. Sa dami na ng sakit at peligrong sumubok sa katatagan ng mamamayang Pilipino, masasabing lahat ng ito ay ating napagtagumpayang lampasan. At ngayon na mayroon namang isang panibagong hamon sa ating bansa, naway muli nating ipakita na walang anumang pagsubok ang makapagpapatumba sa lahing Pilipino. Muli ako po si Secretary Martin Andanar para sa Alerto, a COVID-19 Special.